So, what is an inspection contingency? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, Cyberland? So I'm coming back to you with another informative video, and today we're going to be talking about contingencies. So this will probably be like 4 videos total, but we're just going to go into the contingencies in regards to when you're trying to purchase a home and why it's important to have them and not just sign off on them. So the first video today we're going to talk about is the inspection contingency. Now, in regards to the inspection, what you want to do as a buyer is when you go into a home, and I tell this with all my clients, is that we need to have an inspection done. In regards to the inspector, it just depends. You can shop around, or you can go with what your realtor can guide you to, and you can give them a call, or they can call for you and schedule an inspection. What that inspection entails normally is you want to have an inspection done on the sewer line. You want to have an inspection done on the crawl space, everything, the electrical sockets in the house, the plumbing, the roof, the attic. You want them to do a thorough investigation of the house, because just because the house looks nice doesn't mean it's okay. Good example, I always tell my clients in regards to look at it as like when you refer to the human body. Just because you see a model or a celebrity or a fitness, a muscular guy or a woman that's in full shape, what does the heart look like? What does the lungs look like? What does the liver look like? Just because the outward shell looks good doesn't mean the internal organs are okay. And I'm not saying that that's the case in general with people. I'm just saying I just look at it like that. Just because the outward appearance of the house looks wonderful, what's behind these walls? What's the plumbing like? Is there any leaking in the house? Is there any asbestos? Is there any mold? Is the foundation good? Are there any problems with the roof? Are there any problems with the sewer line? These are questions that we need to do a thorough investigation of, because you don't want to be the person who buys this $700,000 home, or even if it was $20,000. You don't want to be that person buying this home and you got all these problems now and you weren't aware of them before you purchased the house. It's very important to have an inspection done on a house that you're going to live in or you're going to purchase. Even if it's not a house you're going to live in, you're going to rent. It's important that you do an inspection. I never advise any clients I've worked with to not do an inspection. I further advise them to go with an inspection company that's going to give you a thorough report. I don't mean like a line and maybe a picture. I'm talking about a picture, depending on the severity of what's wrong, with the thorough information in regards to what's the problem. Because then the inspector's job is to just give you a thorough report of if there are any issues. But then you can hire a contractor or somebody that that's certified, that can come in and give you an idea of what it's going to cost to get these situations done or repaired if they need to be, or you're willing to do the work yourself. It's very important to do these type of things. And I'll give you another story that happened. So about probably a year or so ago, 2 years ago, I did an open house, and I had a person who lived in the neighborhood come in, and they were just talking to me, and they were looking at the house, and they said it was wonderful. They loved the modifications that was done. And, I thought, hey, this could be a potential person that could help buy a home or something. They're like, oh, no, I already have a house and stuff. But when I started asking, how's everything been going? How's it living in the house? And then they kind of started giving details that told me that they didn't have the best agent protecting their interests. Why? This is what happened. Their agent told them, oh, you don't need to have an inspection done, the house is fine, we don't need to worry about all that stuff. So not only did the agent not tell them to do an inspection, they didn't even educate them on what would happen if they didn't have an inspection or why it was important to have an inspection. Lo and behold, the person told me about, I would say, 3 or 4 months after they lived in the house, Long Beach ended up having heavy rains because the client's home they had purchased years before I had met them. We had those heavy rains, and all of a sudden, their whole majority of their roof, water was coming into their house. Because they didn't have an inspection. It's very important to have an inspection done on the house that you're going to live in or the house that you're going to rent to other people. Especially when the money's coming out of your loan or your pocket, the fact that you're paying to have this property. Now, if you come across all these things in your inspection and you don't even want to have a contractor come out, there's too many issues that you already can tell you don't like, that's fine. You don't have to purchase the home. See, that's the thing about inspection contingencies is that if you have any issues with your inspection, there's concerns, you don't feel that you should be purchasing this home, you don't have to buy the home. Period. As long as you don't sign off on removing the contingency in the contract for purchasing the home, you don't have to buy the home. And mind you still have 2 other contingencies, which we'll get into on the next videos. But at least for the inspection, you don't have to buy the home. And that deposit you put down to purchase the home in the contract, that money goes right back to you. You don't lose your deposit. See, the one thing that I instill in my clients is, again, education, but I'm here to protect their interests and I'm here to protect them. At the end of the day, though, it's their choice to purchase their home or purchase the home we're in escrow with. But my job is to do my due diligence to make sure they know everything that's going on before the clients make their decision how they want to proceed forward. And that's the one thing you have to do as a realtor to make sure you're doing the right thing and ethically doing the right thing for your client is that you give them all the information, you let them make the decision, and you do everything you can to provide them with the facts. And if you have contractors or if they have people, we get them into the house and they do a thorough inspection, look at the report, and make a determination what it's going to cost to do the modifications to replace. Now, mind you, after the contract comes in and they give a report what's going to cost to do these things, there's no guarantee that the seller will be willing to compensate or get these things replaced. And normally what we try to tell, or what I've tried to tell clients, is that it's better to ask for credits as opposed to asking for the seller to make the repairs. Reason being is because it just cuts the cord in regards to the seller and the buyer can hire who they want to have the repairs done, and the seller, and then it does end up being an issue if the seller hires somebody that may not be the best and the work's not properly done to the degree that the buyer felt it should have been. So we cut the cord, seller gives buyer credits in the contract, buyer then takes the credits, and then they will utilize that to do the repairs or hire the person they want to do the repairs themselves. That's the other thing that you would like to do. Again, I never advise a client to omit doing an inspection unless they're just buying a piece of land. And even with a piece of land, there should be some type of inspection. But when it's a home, absolutely. Never just sign off on not doing an inspection. because I gotta tell you, I have seen some doozies in some of the homes that we've had, that my clients have had inspections done for. Some of the stuff that came from the report, even the sellers didn't know about it. They were completely shocked at some of the report too, and they were okay with that. They were okay with applying credits because they couldn't believe it. But and that's not to say that that's not implying that there are sellers that withhold information. It's not even what this is about. You live in a house for 10, 15 years, sometimes you don't know something's doing something behind your wall, or you don't know this is going on until it actually comes in your face. That's just reality. That's not a knock on saying that sellers are deceiving or withholding information. We got a lot of stuff going on during the day, whether it's taking care of our family, working, doing stuff around our home, doing stuff, running errands outside of our home, or we get in, we don't think about these things. That's the purpose of the inspection, to alleviate that stress for not only the seller, but your client, the one who's trying to buy the property, is the inspection. So I advise any of you, if you have questions, shoot me a text, give me a call. But I also advise you to do an inspection. Do not omit it. Do not try to cut corners and think about the cost, because in the long run, that $200, $300, $400, $500, maybe even $1,000 inspection is saving you in the long run if you come to find out that there's $40,000, $60,000, $70,000 of damage to the house. You spent that money for this inspection of the home you really desired, but you found $80,000 of repairs that need to be done. Would you rather omit it doing the inspection, and now you have $80,000 of repairs, and you're in a home now that you have to do $80,000 repairs that you didn't plan for? These are things to think about when you're purchasing a home. So with that being said, I will catch you guys on the next one. Take care.